Hey there, Sarah with NextGEN Medium. I'm a psychic medium intuitive, and I'm all about people developing their soul abilities for themselves. I believe everybody has them. I was 33 when I started to see mine, and I think it's something we have our whole lives. We have taps of it on the shoulder, and there comes a point when maybe you want to explore that. And with that, that's where I come in, and I want to help you see it for yourself. These are my missions. And so one of the things I like to do is I like to go to Reddit and see what's going on there, what conversations are happening. And I came across a great post that really goes into the stigma of the spiritual stuff, in particular these abilities of psychic, intuition, mediumship. Intuition a little more acceptable. In fact, I think a lot of people would agree that there's an inner voice that you have, and that intuition is that inner voice. But when it comes to speaking with people who've passed on, who are no longer physically here, or using psychic abilities that see the future or have seen things that have happened in the past, knowing information that you shouldn't know with the stuff that you know now, somehow you know things, or with healing abilities. I think these are all linked to the soul abilities and our soul abilities. And there's a lot of stigma behind it. There's nothing that can really prove it, so there's a lot of stigma behind it. So we go to the subreddit of mediums. We go to user lemonnnngrabbb. The title of the post is "My Dad Confessed Something About His Mediumship to Me," and this is what they wrote. "I asked my dad if he ever hears the spirits talking to him, and he says he does. Even when he's in public, he hears them on certain people. I asked why he didn't try and tell that person what they were communicating to him, and he said that it's due to the fact that they won't believe him. It sucks because I can relate to that. When we would tell the family about what we have, they think we're crazy, even if what we say is true. It sucks because he won't ever have the feeling of having someone appreciate what he is saying. I have had one person in my life who cried because that's what they needed to hear in order to move forward, and I got to experience that beautiful feeling, but I'm just sad because I know my dad never will. It's also why he doesn't like talking about his mediumship to anyone anymore, and it's so sad." Yeah, I think we're talking about generational social acceptability. So I would say millennials and Gen Zers, we have a luxury of it being more accepted. I'm not saying that 100% people from these generations are going to be like, "Oh, wow, this, I'm totally into what you're saying and I'm totally into this whole concept." But I think there's a lot more openness to the spiritual stuff, to that possibility. So I can see why Dad doesn't want to share. And maybe he has shared before, but has gotten, I don't want to say backlash, but maybe because of the stigma, he feels like he shouldn't. And it's that fear of being judged. So there's a couple of different elements here when it comes to the situation. And one is the pressure of social norms. Another is society that is obsessed with scientific facts, which still trying to figure out like the bad about that, but I think there is a lot of good. I think there's also a bad, where just because science can't prove something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Maybe measuring or being able to understand the concept or how it all works, that's not understood yet with the scientific community. And frankly, and I've said this before, when it comes to the research that's done with this kind of stuff, your psychic abilities, mediumship, all that stuff, there really is no funding for it. Nobody wants to invest money into knowing more about it. And so I'm sure scientists would be down with it, but nobody wants to fund that stuff. It's only like I don't know, you would have to get a pretty you know, some sort of movement in order for that stuff to really be a priority. So these are the things we're working against, and it's really difficult, and it is really sad that Dad doesn't feel value with the messaging he's receiving. I would suggest you sound like the kind of person that's open to this kind of stuff, and maybe, bringing Dad to just a gallery reading, where he can be around other people that believe this stuff. And I'm not saying that everybody who goes to a gallery reading or has a consideration of spirituality are 100% into soul ability acceptance. But I think there's a lot of stuff that is already being accepted when it comes to energy, mindfulness. Like, these are common words that you're hearing a lot more lately, and it's because that aspect of your human being is becoming more acceptable. And we are we are here with our progress, but when it comes to soul abilities and acceptance of all that stuff, we got quite a ways to go. And I think we have a couple more generations before there's an understanding that this stuff's for real. This stuff makes an impact on who you are in a way that makes you a very self-confident, self-assured human being. So my suggestion would be bring him to the community, and maybe that way he feels a little more comfortable in sharing. And with that, share that people do accept this. And that's what I gotta say. To find out more about your soul abilities, you can check out my podcast, NextGEN Medium Podcasts. You can also find out more at nextgenmedium.com, including the book I have available, worksheets and exercises, and a whole lot more. Check it out at nextgenmedium.com. Like this video if this helped you, or if there's information in here that you resonate with, and join me for another video in the future.